really interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, really interesting how he considered the fold so heavily because people just under bluff in these $400 tournaments. It's really, really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, what are his bluffs? You know, like if we really think about it, like sure, ace high, like ace high has some showdown value if you had ace five, and when he raises the turn with maybe some backdoor diamond draw or something like that, and he actually gets calls in on this kind of board. Like, what hands do you have that you're folding?
And it's gonna have some misdraws and things too. So I think calling is the only option myself. Let's see if Boogaloo got away from it. Ooh, call is 6.
So this is close between call.
Really interesting. So call is 6, raise is 7,500 is 10 points. And I'm going to say he said that because this is a very bad player. And so he thinks the very bad player is going to stack off here with worse queens a lot. I'm going to guarantee that's what he's going to say. Very interesting, though. I thought call for sure was the right answer. I never am in this spot. I don't know. Interesting spot, too. I think this is a little bit of a lesson for everyone out there, too. A lot of times, the hands we want to float with, like this one, are better as raises. So this kind of falls in that category.
Yeah, and he was kind of an echo chamber for us there, saying, you know, we just get better hands to call and worse to fold.
Yep.
Like, he's going to have some gut shots in his range. He's going to have spade draws. He's going to have king X. And we kind of, we kind of identify kind of what cards are going to be bad for us on future streets. And we're aware how to proceed on those cards.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, that's a very good point, man. You right.
That was the best. You didn't say anything. You won. Just straight up.
You won. I'm just spewing.
All right, so ooh, look at this. You're not opening this. You just looked at this. You're not opening.
Button cut off, hijack, low jack, under the gun one. You are.
Come on now. Okay. I am. So let's see if he.
He's got to open it, or there wouldn't be a hand.
It wouldn't be
I'm
a
already
quiz.
down on points.
You're already down on points in real life. Now, obviously, you're gonna cheat, but
I'm gonna evolve.
you're gonna adapt, right?
All right, let's play it.
I'm going to cry if he says he's folding here. Like, if he's like, yeah, you should be folding this in this kind of tournament, and you were actually right. All right, cool.
Wah, wah.
Like a spot where we have
Ah!
standard.
Yes.
And the reason is because queen.
I just want to say for the record that this is the best 3-point score I've ever gotten in my life. Because the right answer was fold.
But you heard what he said about the tables. This is a 3K.
Here comes the excuses. 10
The
points
excuses
fold.
to
It says
open
right
if your
here.
table is particularly tight and weak. Welcome to the $5 2K world. I mean, the $11 10K. I'm opening this, yeah, for sure.
This is the best 3 points of my life.
That's hilarious. And everybody's 14.
Nailed it. What the hell kind of play is that from King Queen? Who does that?
What the hell? Yeah, so my dog.
Jonathan Little's an absolute crusher, so it's nice to have him.
Yeah, I agree, and I
He's
always
just
love
coaching.
playing right after sessions like this because I feel like my brain's warmed up. I'm thinking through things, and so it's a good way to start your session for sure.
Right. All right, guys, this is it.
What's up, Mike? You want to give a gist? He was saying Narco Cop was playing about D-pipping about 28% of hands. He had been very aggressive in this $10 buy-in, and here are the options to fold, to call, to raise to 1,200, raise to... What? Wait a minute, he made it 800, and my man's giving options for 12 and 1,400. So it's already getting kind of spicy. That's so nasty. To be on a site with these other crushers, well-known poker public figures is pretty exciting, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I didn't mention that when I was kind of giving a little intro here too. Assassinato, Matt Affleck, John Little, all coaches on the site, so very highly respectable, quality poker content.
Yep, Evan Jarvis as well. Remember Evan Jarvis, Matt Affleck, Assassinato, John Little.
Yeah, so I guess that just makes sense. He just have the ace of clubs in his hand. That's interesting, though. I
How
thought
many
that was
points you got?
interesting.
You didn't do that bad. 45.
I like how you just pat me on the back. You didn't do that bad. Well, yeah, good job, buddy. Like,
The back.
I remember I got the higher score in the first one. So, you know, we're 1 for 1, buddy.
I just want to know.
Calling, guys. Let's see if we're good.
Similar situation. That's pre-flop? I think the pre.
All right, guys, we're checking, I guess. Oh, for fuck's sake.
One of the things I see people when it comes to poker is when people get to the turn, they have an opportunity.
When you're facing a min raise or just a touch more than a min raise, and there's an ante in play, which is going to be the case in most tournaments, I think, going forward, you want to defend pretty wide. If your opponent's making a 2.
All right, cool. You're going 1,400.
I'm going 1,400, guys.
I'm gonna go call with the arm and let's see what happens.
All right, and
I would fold in game though, for the record, in case that's the winning game.
You won. You win. I have to concede. You win.
14K.
14K, let's do it.
No, we can't win. This is a pretty rough spot because
Damn it.
Mm-hmm. Where are you gonna get my chat? They like naughty things. They like just beer, alcohol, you know.
All right, let's do I can do a $10 ACR giveaway.
$10 ACR giveaway courtesy of my man Toe. For me beating that ass heads up in this. Sorry. No, I'm kidding. We'll do this. We'll have to do it at least once a week, man. And then, you know, we'll do it. We'll do it every week a couple times.
So it's a tie.
I guess we got to give out $10 to each other's communities. We'll just do our own $10 free roll for each. Or does that sound fair?
Yes. Do you know what this means?
You win. I give his chat $10. Take it.
So that's cool because we have 2 ties and then a win from you and a win from me. This is like the epic battle. It's perfect. It's great.
Yeah, we're even Stevens.
This is awesome.
Take it.
I love it.
You know,
Stop. We got a giveaway going. Let's run the giveaway for the $10 ACR winner. Closing the giveaway. Drawing the winner. My man Sebs are getting the $10 ACR giveaway for this one. All right, we are here. We are live for the PokerCoaching.com study stream. Flying solo today while Sixes goes out and plays live. I don't know. I bought a piece, but I don't even know what the fuck he's playing. He's playing the MSPT stop, or I'm pretty sure he's playing in Ohio. But we're flying solo today, so it's just going to be us. And we're going to get better. You know what I'm saying? So here's the deal. If you're new to the stream, type Poker Coaching in the chat. I will draw 2 winners. And we'll take one of these quizzes from PokerCoaching.com, Jonathan Little's coaching site. You guys will compete for a score. Whoever gets the highest score gets $5. If you're not familiar with PokerCoaching.com, !PC in the chat where you can sign up for free. And get 20 free quizzes, big blind charts for 100 blinds and more, and a bunch of homework assignments. If you sign up for the premium, then, I don't know, there's 1,647 quizzes, homework assignments, webinars every week with these guys. You get one-on-one time with guys like Matt Affleck and Brad Wilson and Tristan Wade and Justin Saliba and Faraj Jaka, all that crap. And also the Poker Coaching Discord always popping, ! PC Discord in the chat to get there for free. There's 4 other study groups there that are a little bit more in depth, And we have an AMA on Monday with Brad Wilson himself. And lots of things going on there. I've been slacking like crazy in the hand history room because of the move. But I'll get back in there. I'm usually in there about every day. And yeah, man, it's good stuff. All that content for free. That's one thing. Back when I was a young lad coming up in the poker streets before Black Friday, all these resources weren't available. You had to buy poker books or pay for a coach or something. And now you get all this shit for free. Like, it's pretty crazy the amount of content. If you really wanted to get good and you were on a budget, like, there's so much great content out there that's available to you. Be foolish not to take advantage of it. Know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? I see the poker coaches coming in. What's up, Arlinia? Dennis in the house. Poker Pro, good morning, my man. Marlon, what up, dude? Hollywood. Tennessee Dave, what up, what up? The Meatball Pucks, all the legends. Cyrus, thank you for the... Oh, it was a pyramid. I thought it was a sub. Thank you for the pyramid, Cyrus. That'll do. That'll do. What quiz? I've been doing well, Arlinia. Thank you. You know, I've been so busy. Sixes keeps yelling at me because we're less than 30 days to the series, and I haven't studied in, like, outside... I mean, the good thing about being me is that, like, even though I haven't been studying, you know, I still have Team Toe every week, and I do this every week with you guys, and I do the Q&A with the poker coaching crew every week, so I still get reps in, even though I'm not, like, doing my normal grind for the study. But, yeah, I haven't been able to study beyond that for, like, 6 weeks. Because I was moving, and then I had to work in California for a week, and then I was unpacking. So, but you can see the room's coming together. If you haven't seen, we got our stuff up on the walls. Let me close this door so I don't bug my wife. Yeah, we got all our juju up again, and yeah, man. Holland for Poker, welcome back, buddy. Good time. How you doing? Hope you've been doing well. I see a bunch of poker coaches out there. You guys are like hungry this morning, ready to rock. Yeah, one bad thing about this house, I'll go off on this tangent while you guys are still slipping in here, is that, you know, we live in the desert. So, Slipknot poster, that's funny. No Slipknot poster, but I got my Rolling Stones poster, which didn't make it in the move, unfortunately. And it's going to go on the one blank door right here. And then I have a few things here. Bob Marley, Janis Joplin, that I got frames coming today because there's a couple blank spots over here that you can't see. But that was a good field. And then my LED lighting, I'm going to do neon LED lights on the top and the bottom in my arcade room. All that came, and I bought these cool Mario stickers. You like make your own little Mario scene. So I'm going to have like my arcade machines lined up. And on the side, I'm going to have a little Mario scene like between the windowsill and the floor. And jump into like a tube on the side of one machine, come out the other machine, and do a little scene and go across the whole wall. I got plans. This place is getting decked the fuck out. We've upgraded from Casa de Toe to Le Chateau. We got to make this shit represent. And time for the series, too, because all my friends are coming to town. Fuck, Sixes will be here a few weeks. Shit. All hail Jerry Garcia. All right, let's draw 2 winners. Winner. Let me get my shit together, too. Winner number 1. Back. West Tennessee Dave. TN Dave. Winner number... Yes, he says. Free rolling. Poker coaching at work. I'll let you get in there real quick, Working Man's Dead, before I draw for winner number 2. It's funny you say that, All for Poker. He's been battling the Big C for 7+ months. Got the all clear yesterday enough. How's everyone running? Yeah, like... Right now, I'm wondering if I'm playing the series, if I'm honest. Because you say that, and my buddy Zeta just won that circuit ring against Ship and Choctaw, and he got COVID. And what number 2 is Bucks. Congratulations, Bucks. And I probably know, I don't know, 6, 8, 10 people. Marlon, Beats, Sixes, Vanessa Cade, Melissa 2141, Jay Smith, Zeta, all got sick. Lightning, all got sick playing poker. All of them vaccinated. All of them wearing masks. So, I don't know, man. Like, I'm at a place where I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. I mean, I'm always around for like media stuff and the PC.com like hangouts and that kind of stuff. But I don't know about sitting in a room for 15 hours. I was talking about those drugs before the stream started. Passing cards and chips and cooties. Man, I don't know. I really don't know. I want to play so bad. It's been so long, but fuck, man. It's a scary world out there, right? You know, but I don't know that it's ever going away. Jugs was saying this, and so maybe this is just the life, you know. Oh, you were talking about Big C. Cancer. On for poker. I'm sorry to hear that, and ecstatic to hear that you're doing well. I was thinking COVID. Shit. Holy shit. That's way worse. I'm sorry to hear that you were sick, and I'm really happy to hear that you're feeling better, man. Wow, that's a big thing. Wow. All right, let's pick a quiz. For Mr. Pucks and Mr. Dave, we're going to scroll down so that when Sixes does come back, we're not wrecking the top of the list here. We'll do a little Tristan in the WSOP Circuit main event. How's that? What one did I pick? 1594. 1594. Slap the people eating at the table right now. Yeah, I got to. And, you know, the stuff that I am going to play the most of, right, is like the 500 to 1500 buy-in and then the main, right? And so all of those tournaments have, like, you know, 10,000 fucking people in them and 5-day ones. Like, it's just cootie infested. It's cootie infested without COVID. Shit. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to keep Dave up on the main screen. I got Pucks on the side screen here because we're going to look at one at a time, the way this shit works without sixes. So I'll keep track of the score and let you know what's up. Let's see what Tristan Wade's got to say. Yeah?
What's up, poker coaching? Tristan Wade here with another quiz from the $500 MTT Online. So, I'm under the gun. I raised Jack 10 suited. Of course. Who wouldn't want to? Small blind is a blaster. Who calls? Everybody else folds. The blaster decides to check this flop, and what a flop it is. We have flop trips. So what should we do here? Should we check? Should we bet 1,100 or should we bet 3,000?
What's up, Monkey? How you doing, man? All right. Tristan Wade opens Jack 10 or calls the Jack 10 suited. No, opens with the Jack 10 suited. Flops the magic trips. What y'all gonna do? Cyrus couldn't get 1,100 off fast enough. Yeah, you're driving me crazy. You're driving me crazy, kitty. Hell, dude. Oh, I'll say this, man. Last night, so like we live in the desert, right? And so, you know, we got shit like fucking scorpions and snakes and shit because it's the desert. And so my other house never had a problem. This house, we were building like the new IKEA furniture shit we bought in the kitchen. My wife was in there tinkering with it. I built like the frame of it and she was tinkering with the drawers and stuff. And she was barefoot and she screams my name. She's like, I gotta come check this out. And there was a fucking scorpion squished in my kitchen this big. And at first she thought she stepped on it barefoot. And I was like, are you seizing? Can you breathe? And she had no issues. And then we thought about it. She's like, yeah, she didn't even feel it. So it was me. I squished it and didn't even notice. And then last night, it was like 1 a.m. My cat jumps off the bed and is going crazy on the carpet. Can't figure out what the fuck's going on. And there was another scorpion in the goddamn carpet in my bedroom upstairs. I was like, oh, hell no. So I was late this morning because I was calling the exterminator. Because fuck that shit, man. Scorpions. What the fuck? I'm a city boy. That shit's scary as hell. So anyways, cat saved our lives last night. Thanks, kid. She just came in, meowed, and walked the fuck out. She just wants the door open. Anyways, what are we doing? 1100s for everybody, pretty much. Drug says check or 1100. Might check if it's a blaster with a small SPR. That is true. We do have a small SPR. Poker report for you, checking. Check. Says Slippery Rock. Only need to get 13K into the Pontoon Streets. Literally, I was hanging out with Machine Gun last night on the global streets, right? And we were outside smoking on break. And it was like, yeah, you know, a friend of mine got stung twice while she was in bed. And I was like, and then that night, 1 o'clock in the morning, I hear the cat going crazy and there's a scorpion in my room. And we were on patrol last night, like neighborhood watch. I didn't sleep. When I opened, fuck that, Lydia. Fuck that. Yeah, Monk Bay, I thank you for the sub, buddy. 4 months. I appreciate you. Here's $2 for the Scorpion Anti-Venom. Thank you.
You burn the house down. Cruel, you're right? Like, we literally got here a week ago. We should just move. Like, it's a wrap. Fuck this house. Yeah, for me, always betting. We get a lot of value from draws. We get value from the king. Yeah, I mean, so I'm always betting. And always betting super small. I think that's kind of the standard here when we open. Plus, it's a small blind defend, right? And the small blind defend is going to have a lot of paint. So they're going to hit a lot of the gutters and stuff. So 1100 seems good to me. I think all of you guys, let me see real quick, scrolling up. Tennessee Dave checked. And Pucks. 1100. Cool. So let's see what Tristan has to say. We're going to check on this screen and 1100 on the other.
All right, on this board
10 points for
texture,
both.
I think our default is usually going to be a small bet. So if you picked 1100, I gave you 10 points. I think we also do have the option to check on occasion. This hand probably doesn't check that much, to be honest. But I do think we do have checks. So against someone who's like going to blast away and not play as well, I think we could probably overcheck here in a spot
fair.
that I wouldn't really be checking that much.
Totally
So
fair.
I give you 10 points here, a player-dependent check, let's call it, which is the option I went with.
Casper?
But more or less, this should be a small bet most of the time. So I do check. Now we get the 7 of diamonds on the turn, so it brings a lot to draws. The blaster checks again. Now what are we doing? Are we checking? Are we betting 1,500 or are we betting 3,000?
All right. Looks like you checked in game. Casper, what's up, man? It's been a long time. Thanks for stopping by. Exterminator Scorpion is not a thing. Yeah, weird, right? It's one thing I was talking about more than that too. When we moved here from LA, like just different animals here in the desert. Like there's feral like jackrabbits that run through your yard because you're in the desert, and snakes and scorpions and quail. You ever seen a quail with the little dingly thing? Oh no, it's the dingly thing for the quail. Like a weird, like a upside down turkey. Can see a big bet with this. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind. Well, the thing about this one, Casper, with the big bet is that we're only 19 bigs deep. If we were both 100 bigs deep, I think I would big bet, if I'm honest. But 19 bigs, our small bet is kind of big for our stack, right? Was I in my underwear with a baseball bat? Fucking, I shit you not, Cyrus. I was butt ass naked. Fucking wearing nothing but flip flops so I couldn't get stung in the toes. With my fucking cell phone on in the pitch black house with the light. Fucking doing patrols, looking under the bed. Fucking snuck into my bed, my son's room, and I'm peeking under his bed. I shit you not. That is funny as hell. 3K, we need to get it in by River says drugs. 3K for everybody. Small again for Hollywood. Trying to get draw value. Double flush draw. Let's put out the big bet. Ginger going small. You killed a bat in your house with a tennis racket. Holy shit. If there was a bat in my house, I would freak the fuck out. I would. It'd be a scene. My cat would be going crazy. Heidi would be running in circles, screaming. I'd be running in circles next to her, screaming. Hands would be flailing. Like, they do grow in black light, Cruel. They do. And we called the exterminator, too. Like, fuck that shit. It's like, it's $200. I said, say no more. Come over. I don't give a fuck. That's funny as hell. What's up, Tina? Shot a rat with a 12. What the fuck? Shot a rat, didn't give a fuck about the drywall. That's what I do for a living. That is funny as hell. That's funny. That's really funny. What am I doing here? Yeah, I mean, I'm going 3K, like you said, like Drug said. I need to get this shit in. There's lots of draws. The one thing I'm thinking too is like this guy's a blaster, and we check flop, and then he check turn. He hasn't blasted, which makes me think he's super fucking capped. And then we just don't have much of a value target range. Like my instinct is bet 3K. Something in me wants to check again though because I think he would bet his draws on the turn because we checked. He wasn't paying rent. Interesting. God, I want to bet 3 so bad, but my guts let me check. 3K for Pucks, 3K for West Tennessee Dave. So let's figure it out. He likes
All right, well,
3K for
checking's
Pucks.
out the window. We're not checking anymore. We checked the flop
Thank you,
trap. We need to build a pot now.
Thank you,
Okay,
Tristan.
so checking is done. We did that once. Betting 1,500, yeah, you know, it's a little enticing bet. Fine, sure, cool, whatever. But how do we get the most out of this hand? So betting 1,500 is just not the right bet. We want to be betting bigger here. Bet 3,000, 10 points. That's the answer. That's really what you should be doing. At least half pot here. So yeah, we go 3,000 and we get called. Awesome. River. Oh my God, quads. What quads? The opponent checks. So now what do we do?
Oh, shit.
Do we check, which would be a penalty in almost any state or any country? Or are we betting 3,500 or are we going all in? So really,
get
what kind
penalized.
of bet sizing are we going
Don't
to
get
go
the
with? Are we
penalty.
going to milk them here or are we going to go for max value? What do you think?
Shut a copyright with the 38. Jesus Christ, you guys are like, this is the wild fucking West. You like, I was talking about scorpions. You guys are like, yeah, move, burn the house down. You motherfuckers are out there shooting shit in your houses. What the hell? Funny about the big hole in the drywall. My last house had hardwood floors, and I won some tournament. I wasn't on stream or whatever, and I was fucking around. I was wearing socks, and I was fucking around. I was dancing around my wife, doing like one of those soccer goal, running around in circles around her and carrying on, and I slipped. And my fucking, and I got a size 14 shoe. My foot went through the fucking wall and I slid in my socks. And I had to have a machine gun come over and help me fix it before I moved out. Jam says, pucks. Jam for pot. It's just about pot. It's good. All in for poker says all of it. 3,500. Poker Pro trying to milk them. Bunch of jams. Quads. Who does this happen to? I have a whole break video full of quads. This is hard when you have a hand, right, Meatball? It's much easier when you have hair. Everybody all in. Everybody all in. Please have a king. He might even call it a 7, to be honest with you. I mean, we check flop, right? We should call it a 7. You probably should call it 8s and 9s as well, right? Can't just fold those. Everybody says all in. Everybody. Ship it all. 3,500. We got a few people getting tricky. The thing about it is, like, if he's got a king or a 7, he's going to call all of it. Especially a blaster. Like, he doesn't like to fold hands, right? He's got 8s and 9s. He beats the 7, which is where we started betting. I think we have to jam. Pretty sure. Let's find out.
And once again, we only have one answer here, folks. And that answer is to go all in. We've gotten to the river. We have the best hand. And even if we didn't make quads, there weren't many rivers we weren't planning on going all in on, if any. So betting 3,500 here is just missing out on value. If you think 3,500 here is a good bet, you're missing out on value. We can't do that. Hopefully our opponent has a king or they hero call us with some other hand, but we got to go all in here. It's the only option. There's nothing more to say. So I do move all in. And surprisingly, we get called here by not a king, but an ace-7. So sure, they have one of those hands that might want to call that can bluff catch. So it makes sense to see this. And I'm happy that I checked the flop here because I probably don't get this action if I don't. But again, let's not be results-oriented. The flop is mostly a bet. But either way, this was a great hand for me because my opponent picked up
quads and doubled?
a hand they would call me with, and I was able to double up. So hopefully you get the fundamentals right of this spot and realize that you shouldn't be leaving any value out on the table when you have big hands and a pot size bet.
Poker's easy with quads. I'll just try and get that's the tip here, Meatball, for sure, is just get quads as much as you can. You know, if you can do that, you're going to be pretty good. Swish on both sides! Right away, we're flipping it. All right. Since Dave was on the screen, pucks. Call it heads or tails. More fun to play from the villain's perspective? For sure. Tails, says Pucks. All right, here we go. Good luck. Bink! Mr. Pucks and Poker. Swishes the $5. Not like this, Dave. Not like this. All right, let me get a new keyword for you guys. We'll draw 2 more winners. We'll pick a new quiz. Let me get that together. What should the keyword be? Critters. Since we're talking about bugs. Critters is the keyword, guys. Critters in the chat, and I'll draw 2 new winners. We'll pick a new quiz. Hollywood, are you from Hollywood, LA? Are you from Hollywood, Florida? Are you just a star, so your name is Hollywood? I don't think I ever asked you that before. All right, let me find a quiz for us. I see all the critters coming in here. God, Alex Fitzgerald, I would love to take some of your quizzes, but they're not very conducive to the stream because you give such thorough explanations. We got another Tristan here, but we already did Tristan. You know what? Fuck it. Let's give Lexi some love. She just started a vlog. I haven't watched it yet, though. It's on my list of shit to do. But like I said, I've been real busy. Also, a weird movie. Yeah, it's true. You know what's funny? From my childhood, it's one of those movie posters that stands out because the critter in the movie is in the toilet and bites the dude in the ass when he's going to the bathroom. So that's always... It's funny. I remember that from my childhood. Good old 80s movie poster. I forgot what I was saying. Anyways, let's draw some winners. Winner number 1. Cruel. CRUWL. Winner number 2. Quah. Hey, she did it, America. It's Harley. All right. No content from Faraz in a while. He hasn't broken up with coaching. He's playing live right now. He's all over the country. He was in Texas. I think he still might be in Texas. I know he was doing the same thing. Jay Saliba doing the same thing. Jay Saliba made that final table in Monaco last week before. So he's traveling right now. I think that's why he put out all that fucking content. They front-loaded the shit out of it because with this travel schedule plus the series coming up, I think a lot of the coaches are just going to be super busy, for the next couple months. Woot! Born in Wisconsin, live in Virginia Beach, but go all over for work sometimes. He's been to Florida 7 times. We're going next month to do a job there. All right, on Hollywood. I was actually born in Hollywood. That's why I asked. All right. So we got Arlie and Cruel. We'll keep Cruel up on the front screen because we drew him first. And Arlinia over here on the second screen. 1624. Hold on one sec. I got to get my shit together again because I'm having a good time and just talking about nothing. Was Critters a toilet or Ghoulies? Oh, Squid Dauber. Why did you do that to my brain? Now I'm double guessing myself. I'm pretty sure it was Critters with the fucking dude that had kind of like a little furry lion mane, right? Like thing. Shit, I'm gonna have to Google it. Texas Poker is rocking. Texas Poker's been some crazy shit. I mean, it was doing that before Doug Polk and that crew and Nimi and all those guys went down there and started the lodge. Even before that, it was popping. Machine Gun was down there for like 4 months wrecking fools. Damn! Was it Ghoulies? That sucks. Critters movie. Come on, Google. Damn, you're right. It was Ghoulies. Critters, I had the right monster in my head. Damn, it was Ghoulies! Ah! Almost the same movie, but not quite. Damn, good call. Extra points for Squid Dauber. Squid Dauber wrecked it. Let's go. Impressive. All right, let's do this. lot of really nice clubs now. The action is good. Yeah, it's been going crazy there. All right, poker time. Let's do it.
What's up, everyone? Lexi
What's
Gavin
up, Lexi?
here, and today we are going to go over a hand that I played in the $10,000 World Series of Poker main event 2021. So this was an interesting hand. I had a really, really bad table draw in the main event this year. I had so many pros. I think every player at my table was a pro. 2 really solid Euros on my left, which just kind of made my life miserable all day. So, yeah, let's jump into it. Folds to us on the button. We have pocket queens. We raised to 1,400. Solid European player in the small blind flats, and the big blind also flats. The flop is 10-7 deuce rainbow, and the small blind leads for 2,500. Big blind folds. What do you think we should do? Fold, call, or raise to 7,500?
Interesting. First question I ask myself is, do we have a leading range on 10-7-2 multi-way first to act? How many deeds? 119, 123. Well, we'll never know because I'm not running this hand. Fuck that. 3-way hand. Fucking 100 bigs deep. Will be here for 6 months. But, yeah. Is the 7-2 game on? Good question, Cruel. Good morning, Felici Suerte. Coming in to get that study in before the Rattlesnakes on Monday. You guys playing for the global trophies? I got I got my second big funny check. And they actually yelled at me yesterday because they're like, dude, we sent you this check 3 weeks ago. When are you going to take pictures with it and do your promo shit? And I was like, I'm moving. I'm sorry. It's in the closet right here. I'll get it while you guys are doing this. 7,500 for a bunch of people coming in. 75. There's a few calls. Oh. And I moved the tape the box up, so I can't show you right now. 75 going across the board. Couple of calls. Hollywood calling. That's a cool story, man. Been all over. San Diego's nice. I almost lived in San Diego a few times. Go winning the Scorpion Trophy. They do. Well, like, I'm not sure. I thought we just did the Snakes. We did the Eagles. And then Sixes won. A deep stack trophy was the one in between. And now they're doing Snakes. Like, the one I want is a goat. I just think that's a cool name. And how do they not have a shark? Like, it feels like they missed an opportunity with no shark. Right? Cool. I would to, hey, what's up, friends? I would raise this. I don't think he's just leading 2 pair. That seems like a weird thing to do. And, I would always raise this. I'm always raising this. Fun fact, if you're a fan of American Dad, the voice actor of Steve Smith is the kid from Critters. You are just a 80s horror movie wealth, encyclopedia of knowledge. That's really cool, actually. I love that shit. One of my favorite things is I'm a big movie guy. I have like 1,800 DVDs. It's a crazy big cabinet full of stuff. And I love when I go back and watch some random old movie and you see like a young version of a star was nothing then, you know? You know, like Johnny Depp in Nightmare on Elm Street, or, you know, Cuba Gooding Jr. when he's sitting in the chair and Coming to America, stuff like that. Those are always cool. It's always cool. Puck says, call, we hate life, and we raise, get click back. I mean, do we on 10-7 too? Do we really? You come Bob. Try to take a nap, can't sleep, so doing this instead. Hey, it's a good place to be, right? It's a good place to be. What would Toe do? I like it. Toe's raising. You don't give a fuck. Arlie and Cruel, I think, are both raising. Let me just scroll up here and double check before I make my move. Drugs, Cruel raise for sure. Arlie raise. All right, 7,500 for both. Let's find out.
All right, so I think that I prefer a call here, which is what I did. The lead here is interesting. He can definitely have some sets on this board. He could have all of the sets. I think he is going to be 3-betting pocket 10s pre-flop some of the time, but I also think he could certainly be flatting those, especially considering it's the main event. day one of the main event, which is when you really want to be playing small ball. So flatting mid and mid pairs up to like pocket jacks, I think plays fine as a flat. And the donk lead, I mean, I don't think he really has any two pairs. I think maybe 10-7 suited, but other than that, he never has 7 deuce, 10 deuce, or 10-7 offsuit. So I wasn't too worried about the two pair combos beating me. And even some of the sets, like because it's pretty dry texture, I think that sets are going to be trapping on this board. So I think that if he had flopped a set, he would probably check call and then check raise a turn, or maybe check raise the flop. Yeah, so I don't know. So we flat. The turn is a 5 of diamonds, and he continues 5,500 into 9,800. What do you think we should do
Really
here?
interesting.
Fold, call, or raise
Lexi
at
did have the same
15,000?
thought as I did, where like he's not leading two pairs. Leading a set seems weird, right? You're gonna check raise that or check call, right? You wouldn't just lead into two people with the super strong hands. I think actually because that he's pretty weak here most of the time. He's got something like an 8-9 or something, I'm imagining, right? And then we raise and push that off, and if he doesn't have 10-7, doesn't have 10-2, doesn't have 7-2, he doesn't have those sets that do this, then he's pretty weak, and we don't have to worry too much about him catching up. I think that's kind of where she's leaning by calling, I think. We got to get her on the stream one time. She's one of the few coaches we have, one of the few coaches I don't really have a relationship with. I've never spoken to her before. Small blind gets a lead into the big blind 15 to 30% of the time, but is that the case when we have an open from the button, though, right? This isn't blind versus blind. This was three ways. And the fact that we still open from the button, and we still have all the best 10x, we still have over pairs, like, I don't think the lead is a thing. I'm relatively confident the lead isn't a thing. By the solid euro. Coral calling, Arlinia calling. She wants to raise him so bad. Friends calling, Jenna's calling, Meatball calling. But at least he's Suerte calling, Ginger calling, Bob calling, everybody calling. All right, Slippy Rock, you're gonna make me run this 100 blind sim. I may cut the stacks down to 80 just to make my life easier. Leading a thing on 10-9 boards from the small blind, yes, even multi-way drugs. That's the big thing. Like, the multi-way thing is what's got me thinking it's not a thing. Call again. Betting 15K falls out a lot of what we want to keep in, right? I mean, here's the thing. Like, she said she wants to play small ball. And I partially get that. But it's Sky Fire twice. Like, again, I kind of want to raise. You know, I want to build this pot. I really do. I'm cool building this pot in this spot with this action in this scenario. But I think she said small ball, so she's probably going to call, I imagine. Both our contestants call. Let's find out. It's a weird spot.
So I remember being really confused in this hand. I just really couldn't figure out what the small blind was doing. Yeah. And I didn't think that raising here, I mean, we could definitely raise at some frequency here, but I just didn't know what hands I was going to be getting value from if I did raise. Probably a hand like 8-9 would probably call if I put in a small raise. I think a hand like ace 10, king 10 would probably call one straight. We block queen 10, so I don't think he has that very often. I don't know why he would donk lead with a hand like pocket 8s or pocket 9s, and he certainly, I don't think, would continue betting with those hands, so I didn't think he had like a middling pair. The only thing I can maybe think of was he maybe slow played kings or aces pre-flop. which, like, why wouldn't he just check raise the flop with? Like, I don't know. So I remember just being very confused. The 5 on the turn doesn't change the texture in any way. So unless he flatted 5s from the small blind and decided to donk lead them on that on the flop, that could maybe be a possibility, because if I were him and I had 5s on this board, check calling is kind of uncomfortable. So I guess it's like close between a check raise with 5s or a donk lead. So he could have 5s, but, and again, he could have some of the sets as well. So I don't know. I was just pretty confused. So that's why I decided not to raise. I just decided to call, because I think that when I do raise, I am only getting called by worse and getting folds by better. So if he's bluffing, might as well just let him continue to hang himself by bluffing more. And if he is value betting, then we are attempting to lose the minimum here. All right, so we call, and the river is the 6. It's not a very good card, being that 8-9 gets there. He bets 7K into 20, just under 21,000. So what do you think we should do? Fold, call, or raise to 22,000?
What do we do now? What do we do now? What do we do now? Everybody just calling. Everybody just calling. Calling, regret not raising at some point in his hand. Oh, Hollywood raising now. Trying to get more value from that 10. Can't fold, can't raise, says Drugs. That only leads call. Oh, we got some aces. We got some raises here, rather. Tina, friends. They're like, fuck this. We want value. Excuse me. Call, because our lack of aggression could have just let him get there. If we do lose, we lose the least, as our linear. Call him cruel. Call. She wants to play small pots. Raising his burning 10K, says Casper. Holy Jesus. Thank you. 89 gets on the river, which most likely, yeah. Golly. 8-9, this seems like, that's probably true. 8-9 probably, I think when we call twice, 8-9 probably does size up on the river. Right? Which makes it more 10x, which makes me want to raise. Could have 3-4. Well, the problem is 3-4 shouldn't be calling from the small blind. If in the big blind, it's got a lot of 3-4. We don't want to get jammed on. Like, Jesus Christ. What does he jam? I almost like raise fold. Holy shit. And small stakes, people don't small to set a price for the draw. True. A lot of people considering raise. God, it just feels like we didn't get enough value for these queens. It is a 46 blind pot, though. I guess we can't complain. Holy shit. 3-4 doesn't donk lead either. Yeah, on 7 deuce 10, like there's no 3-4. I mean, it's 8-9. Maybe 10-7 suited. And then maybe some sets. 10-7 suited, like, could be. Does Ace 10, Jack 10, Queen 10, King 10 do this? What the fuck? This is a weird thing. But she's been talking about small ball the whole thing. I think she's going to call for sure. This hand was played very weird on both sides, in my opinion. Then we both got calls, right? Call. Yep, let's find out.
So I made a very nitty fold. I did fold. I was not loving this at all. He did end up having
Lexi,
jacks. I thought this was very
no!
interestingly played by him. And I talked to him about this after, and I said,
What are both these players doing?
I was really surprised to see you have jacks there. I mean, I guess it makes sense. And he said because it's the main event, that's why he flatted it pre-flop. He said normally he would be 3-betting this pre-flop, but he decided to flat play small ball on day one of the main, which I definitely like that strategy. He was very solid. He just kind of kept it really slow on day one. Day one of the WSOP main, they're 2-hour levels, so you really don't want to do much of anything on day one. You kind of just want to survive and hope that you run well on day one and get paid off with your netted hands. So so I did make the fold. Looking back on it, I probably should have called. I wasn't even getting that bad of a price. I was just, not really sure what I beat at that time. And looking back on it now, I probably would have made the call just because, I definitely see him flatting jacks and kings from the small blind in the main event here. So, kings, I would assume he'd be 3-betting them, but jacks definitely make sense. But I don't hate my fold. Like I said, 8-9 got there. If the river brought, like a 3 or even an 8, I probably would have made the call. But because it completed the 8-9 straight, I just decided to fold, and I think that's fine. All right, so hope you guys enjoyed the analysis on this hand, and thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.
What the hell? What the hell happened in this hand? What the hell, Lexi? Both sides, all right, listen, flatting the jacks. You're going to flat jacks for sure, but versus a button open with a hand that is the best now almost always and does need some protection and can get value from worse, I don't know why you're not 3-betting jacks in the small blind versus the button. 2, I don't know why the fuck you're donk leading 3 ways, 10-7 deuce. That's definitely not a goddamn thing with jacks. You should check raise because Lexi's got 100% C-bet hit frequency here, and you get to build a pot against a 10. Against a donk lead, whether Lexi should raise or not, I kind of get the idea of flatting because the donk lead is weird and seems like a protective bet, and when you raise, you just chase things out. 10-8 or something might fold, or a 7's going to fold, right? Because you don't raise here multi-way either without a strong hand. King 10, ace 10, and over pairs. 2 pairs. So, I get that. When they bet twice, raising the turn seems like you should raise the fucking turn. And then on the river, hell no, you're not folding. Hell no. You can't fold. One thing that's interesting too is both players well, it's day one on the main, so we're gonna play nitty as fuck. But even pro on pro, I think if you think a pro is this is gonna play this nitty, that you can exploit the shit out of them. You exploit the shit out of them. I think it's fucking whoa. So I'm pretty sure you guys had the same answer all the way through. I think it's not a flip. If my tally is correct, which I think it is, never folding. Jesus, what are we calling with? We're not calling it. What the hell? All right, we're flipping. Ollie, call it. MDF is a thing. Yeah, you got to be crazy. Lexi hurt my head with that one. Agreed, Pucks. And I'm cool with coaches throwing the mistakes. We've seen the last few Affleck quizzes have been him fucking up hands, right? We're human. We're definitely human, and they definitely feel the pressure of the moment and all that kind of stuff, But the analysis, again, I think the points should have been flipped on the river. Call versus, fold. Fold is crazy. All right, Arlie, tails. Heads it is. She loses the flip. Oh, no. Cruel, congratulations on flipping so good. This is called the main. Yeah, it's kind of one of those things, Goomba. Like, there was that. I don't remember the exact details of the hand, but it was Vanessa Selpst, who was in a hand, and I want to say she had a boat, and she had like the top boat, and she got it all in like early in the main, day one, ran into quads, and everyone was like, day one of the main, you can't push the boat, blah, 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 blah. I mean, come the fuck on. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're not pushing the top boat, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you need to build a stack. We're in accumulation mode. This is 5, 6, 7 day tournament. Holy shit. Have I ever cashed the main? No. I've never played the main. That shit's 10K. However, if I do decide to play this year, I'm 100% playing the main. And I'll be selling action. So stay tuned on social and Discord and stuff for that. Oh, she called with the boat not pushed? Yeah. Whatever it was. Oh, she called the jam on the river with the boat. That's what it was, drugs, right? And they're like, oh, how could you call with a boat? Like, what the fuck? Like, you gotta call something. What the fuck? That's top of range. Holy shit. So yeah, cool. Cool. Let me know how you want your $5. I mean, even on the bubble, are you folding top boat? Like, I make some folds. I make some tight ass folds on the bubble. I mean, I am definitely a guy that does that. If you guys were watching the global stream last night, I made some tight ass folds on the bubble there, with some pretty strong hands. But like, not a fucking boat. Crow, you want a gift sub? Is that what you're saying? I can do that too, however you want it. Or I can sub you to some other channel. Either way. You want $100 on my WSLP action? Stay tuned, Bob. I'll put it out there, let you know. Put it out there, let you know. I'm lucky. I have some friends that already said they'll buy all of it, but we agreed that I'm going to offer it to the Toe Army first, see if they want a little sweat. I'll put packages out too. I do that too, because even though like I don't really play the main, I do play. I don't know, 8 to 15 events a summer. If we bust spectacularly. That's right. Go out in a blaze of glory, not a puff of smoke. I agree. New keyword. New keyword is knit life, all one word. Give a gift sub for my win. Oh shit. Okay. I see you guys giving back to the community. You savages. I like it. Let me get that going so I don't forget. Gift sub. Tier 1 gifts to the community. Gift 1 sub. Gift 2 subs. Complete purchase. About that knit life. Sixes would lose his fucking mind if he saw that quiz. Jackson and Felici Suerte, congratulations on the gift subs. I would lose my fucking. He would lose his mind if he saw that quiz. Oh my god, that's funny. That is funny. All right, we did Tristan, we did Lexi. We need a little Affleck in our lives. Queen 7-0 or Ace Jacko. All right, let's do the weird Queen 7-0. Do. Yeah, he would lose his fucking mind. What? Hey, thanks Pucks and Poker and Cruel. They give something to the community, Felici Suerte. Enjoy your Toe Army emote, my friend. All right, rolling for winners. 1, 2, 3, go. Tina, the sweet, sweet aces. And winner number 2 is... Bang! Only Friends. Legends of the Army. Legends of the Army. All right, 1641 over here. All right, guys, let's see what Uncle Affleck has to say. He might be coming over tonight for the fights. I gotta call him.
All right, in today's video,
We don't
we're
die,
in the big blind. We're playing
we
with Lazio 10
multiply.
diamonds, day 1. We have 40
Demon Flips, thank you for the follow.
blinds.
Latin Eagle, thank you for the follow.
Folds the small blind, good competent player who limps in. We have the Queen of Spades and the 7 of Clubs.
Preheat, thank you for the
Should we
follow.
check, or should we raise to 3,500?
Can you even hear this? I can't hear this fucking shit at all. I missed the entire explanation. Are we playing this one? Fucking his mic sucks on these vid. I'm gonna text him. I didn't hear any of it. All I know is that we're blind versus blind, and he limped. Tina, winner? She does win a lot, huh? She does win a lot. Check, raise, check. Check, check. Check for friends. Check for Tina. Check, 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 check. Lots of checks. 1 reads. 1 mix. I see you, Tina. Check, 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 check. Check, 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 check. Check, 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 check. We want to be polar here, says Drugs. Yeah, I will. He's usually good about this, but like, it's like he was talking from the living room and his mic was in his office. I don't know what the fuck he's doing here. 40 bigs deep effective, Marlon. Faraz all up in Econ Bob's head. I'm actually bringing up the chart right now because I do think these hands mix. The Queen 7 mixes. I'm double checking myself. I would check end game. I tend to check the specs a lot. 40 bigs effective. We are in the BB. Action is limped. Here's the small blind. Queen 7. Oh. It's mostly checking. 73-27 checking. Our raises come from 10-7, 9-7, 8-7, 10-6, 9-6, 8-6. The junk. Drugs was pretty much right. 10-5, 9-5, 8-5, 7-5, 10-4, down to 7-4. Jack 3-0, down to 7-3-0. Like that stuff all mixes raises. Queen 7-0 is a little too good. A little too good. We check. I would have checked the game. I checked the spot a lot. Let's do it.
So this is a spot I think people screw up. Take a second and think, how often should we be raising here? What's our frequency that we want to raise here? When I do database reviews, I would say most people are raising somewhere around 25 to 30% of the time here. At the minimum, you should be raising about 45% versus these limps. And it's often a very polarized raising range, so you have all your really good hands. And like by really good hands, I mean like King 8 suited and better, and like, you know, King Jack offsuit and that stuff, so I'm not just talking really polarized. And then you raise trash, like 10 deuce offsuit, 10-4 offsuit, Jack 5 offsuit. Stuff that has really low equity to try to win the pot now and get dominated hands to fold. Queen 7 kind of is right in the middle there. This hand is going to be mostly a check, but I don't hate a raise if you think your opponent limp folds too much. But like in GTO frequencies, this is probably like maybe a 15-10% raise. It's in there a little bit, but it's not strong enough for value. It's a little bit too strong to bluff with. So I like checking.
Go ahead, kitty.
9-8-8. And our opponent checks. Should we check? Should we bet 1,000? Bet 2,000? Or go with the big daddy and bet 3,000?
All right, guys. Comes down 9-8-8. Homeboy checks to us. Are we taking the lead now? What you all doing? Checks the Econ Bob. You haven't tried raising blue? Oh, I do. Yeah, I mean that's something you should do for sure. Because limps are generally weak or marginal, and you could turn a hand like 10-5-0 into a winner by easily just raising. Yeah, 27, Cap. I was saying that 27.73. I said earlier. Mixed action here. Check 1K. Check 1K. 1K. 2K. Check 1K. 2K. 1K. 2K. The kitty meow might be a scorpion. Get it, cat. Get it. I was afraid she was gonna get like stung in the nose or something. You know. 2K for Tina. Cruel going 2K too. Sizing up on the 988. 2K all day. All day. What's funny is I probably have this hand fucking ran. I'm gonna check right now. I'm not sure we fold out any better hands here. Yeah. I would check too. 40 bigs. Give him a small blind. Limp check. I fucking literally was looking at these sims. In the QA, we were looking at these sims. And I remember these paired boards get bet some. I'm looking right now. I have it ran. 988 rainbow. I got it. I got it. I would check. I think I would check. We have showdown value. Getting check raise sucks. We do block a lot of the hands that would check raise us. The 7-10, the queen 10. In the sim, queen 7-0 mixes 50-50 bet and check. 50-50 in pile world. All right, you guys are going 2K. Oh, and we bet small. No reason to size up here. They have nothing, or they have a lot, and so we bet small because they're nothing just folds, and if they have a lot, we lose the least. So definitely not sizing up. There's no big bets really on this board in this spot. 2K for both our contestants though. So let's do it and see what happens.
So here, I really like checking the most. I think people really struggle playing wide ranges, and they just bet way too often. You gotta realize how weak your range is here, and so you have to be careful. I want to bet more polarized than this. I think this hand is just too good to bet. We have 3 to a straight. We have an overcard. Queen high could just be good. I don't want to fold out queen deuce when I bet here. I don't want to fold out queen 3, queen 4. I don't want to fold out 7 deuce, for example. Hands that I would bet that are like similar category to this, and this is why I don't want to bet this hand because I have too many other really good hands to bet. 10 deuce offsuit if I didn't bet pre-flop. Maybe a hand like 7 deuce, 3 to a straight. Jack deuce, jack 4. Queen deuce, queen 3, queen 4. Maybe like a queen deuce of hearts or something. Something a little more polarized. I think this hand is a little bit too good. That being said, I don't hate a bet for 1,000. This hand definitely can bet sometimes, for sure. But it still mostly checks. I would say this is probably, in the solver when I looked this up, this is like a 60% check, 40% bet. So you still want to mostly check here. But I really like to, in position, you're always going to be more polarized. So I like raising like the 10, betting the 10 deuce and stuff, and checking this hand back. I did bet 1,000. I said it's fine. I think checking is the preferred option here, but I do bet 1,000. Opponent calls. Ace of spades. And our opponent checks.
Ace of spades.
Should we check? Should we bet 2,000? Should we have 4,000? Or Big Daddy here, which is an overbet for 6,000.
Ooh. Puts the overbet out there. I'm not sure what the score for 1K was since we didn't pick it, and if I do, it'll jack up the current scores. But if I had to guess, it was probably an 8 or something. I definitely had some ace X that I checked back. Ace deuce, ace 3, ace 4, ace 5-0. I'm checking those back. Check, fold, fold. You can't just open fold, Cap. You're in position. Oh, he thought he said overbet. No. Overbet's an option. Check. 2K for Peepas. Check for Tina. We just float a lot of ace-x. You are correct, Slippery Rock. Check for Arlinia. We have no ace-x. Check. I disagree with the fact that we have no ace-x, but I don't confirm or deny the check part. Like, I would have ace-2 through ace-5 here for sure and check back that. Because then I ask myself, too, if I have ace-2 through ace-5, like, am I betting for value? If I'm betting for value, it's worse, it's calling. There's not a lot. And if I'm betting for the bluff, which probably shouldn't do with this strong in my hand, what's better that's folding? Nothing. So I think check's the only option here. If you have those hands. Here... Whew. I feel like he's going to overbet. I do. Oh, this one limp check, so we don't have any of the top ace-x. Oh, maybe he does check. If this was like limp raise call, and then we see bet, get called, and the ace comes, might be a better bet. But limp check, like, we don't have ace-king, we don't have ace-queen. P-Bus, thank you for the sub, buddy. I appreciate that, man. He does check for that reason, because it's limp check. Interesting. Tina checking, and friends checking. Let's find out.
So here, I think the best answer.
Overbet. I knew
really
it.
the
I knew it.
only
I knew
bet
it.
size
I
think
knew
you should
it.
probably use here is the overbet, 6,000. And to think about here, a good way
I
to
knew
think about
it.
this is, how often do we want to bet 9x here on the turn? We don't really have much ace-x because we would have raised pre-flop, and we don't really bet ace-high that much on the flop here. Our opponent check called, definitely could have an ace. Not sure, like, we can bet some 9x, but we don't really want to bet 9x that much. Most of our, like, value range here is going to be, like, an 8 or the occasional ace. And those hands are just strong enough. Like, we're going to be pretty polarized here. I think the 6,000 here, our opponent's probably, like, they should have some 8x. They just check calls because ranges are so wide. But in reality, most people are just going to check raise with an 8 on the flop here, and they're going to have too weak of a range here on the turn. We can punish them here with the overbets. Betting 6,000, I think, is really effective with value. They're probably going to call too much with, like, 9x. Like hands like 9-7 and 9-5 and stuff can just fold to our overbet here. I think the overbet works really well with a polarized range. And as for bluffs, this hand with the queen of spades is kind of like a prime candidate. I was thinking in game that I blocked too many bluffs.
We bet 1K on the flop, though.
Or
Cap.
too many of his folds, having the 7 of clubs, like blocking jack 7 or 10-7 or 7-6. But those hands are actually probably going to be continues here in some form. So, yeah, with the spade here, this hand is a pure 100% just overbet. If we didn't have the spade, so we had like queen of hearts, 7 of clubs, then we mostly just check here because our hand is just strong enough. And we'd rather
Block the
like
flush, get back to
prefer to
flush
have the
continues.
spade here and block. So
Okay.
the worst answers here are like kind of bet small. You know, bet 6,000, bet 4,000, but the overbet's the best. We kind of want to polarize here and make sure we can get all the money in with 8x. I do check back here. I think it's a mistake. I think I should be overbetting and putting pressure on. And it's really, your strategy is pretty simple on the river. Like if a spade comes, you're all in. There's going to be 20K in the pot. You're going to have 30K left. Like on the spade, you're all in. On a non-spade, you're probably not all in. On some of the straight completers, you'll be all in with the 7 blocker. So it's not that complicated of a strategy here on the river. I think people just kind of overthink it. Well, what do I do on the river? So, we check back. I think it's a mistake. It's all good. Small blind. Checks here on the 5. Now what do we do on the river? So we missed the bet on the turn. Do we check? Do we bet 2,000? Do we bet 4,000? Or do we bet 6,000?
What do we do on the river if we bet big and get called? He didn't do that here, but I would probably end up checking. We bet the flop. We overbet on the river on the turn. He still called even though it was an ace, and at that point, I am probably giving up. If it's not a spade, spade we jam because we again block their flushes. 6K for Machine Gun. He's overbetting the turn now. Or the river, rather. 4K is Goomba. Check. 4K for Dennis. 6K for Poker Pro. Check. Lots of mixed options here. Definitely a rough spot of his own making. He said he griefed it. Friends pleading the fifth. Ah. $4K for Tina. Waiting for a final answer, friends. Check. Giving up, he says. This is where they part ways. We're going to get a definitive winner this quiz. I mean, I feel like we have to bet. We have Queen High and no showdown value. I think it's going to be either 4K or 6K. And I'm really leaning towards 6 myself to make sure we get any shitty pairs to fold. I think we go 4K the pairs part of the range, still call. The missed draws are folding for any price. We really want to get any under pairs to fold. I'm kind of leaning 6 myself. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, Tina. Cool. It was check for friends and 4K for Tina. I believe we got Tina on the screen, so we will go 4K and see what the check is here. 4K worth 7 points.
I think,
check worth 10.
Check is just the best option here. So once we check back on the turn, like we don't ever really.
Oh, he didn't bet the turn. I thought he bet small on the turn.
We will have 9x that wants the value bet.
I thought he bet
a
the turn.
little bit of ace-x, but not a ton.
Boo, Affleck.
We just don't have a lot of value here once we check back on the turn, so we have to be very careful with our bluffing frequency. And this hand just seems too high up in our range to be bluffing. I'd rather bluff, some worse hands. We're gonna have some 7 high, some 6 high, type of hands that we bet the flop with, and we had no equity, so we check back the turn. Like I'd rather bet with those hands, some blocking like some of their weaker 9x or 5x, something like that. So this hand's just too strong. I think we still win the pot here enough.
Missed draws we still beat.
I'd rather check back with a lower, bet with some lower card hands here. That be it. But it's important just to recognize like what's our value range now on the river. So we check back. We don't have an 8. I think we can value bet all our 9x, all our ace-x, probably 5x too. We can probably value bet a 5 to get called by like king high and queen high. But I think this hand wins maybe we win like 10% of the time here when we check, and that's just enough to make checking better than betting here. If we are going to bet here, we don't get an overbet anymore. We don't get a bet 6,000 because we check back the turn, so we don't have an 8, so we can't represent that polarized part of our range. If I had a 9 here, I'd probably bet 4,000, like 2/3, something like that, somewhere between like 35.
You can't go all in, Tina, because you have 40K behind,
like
and
a good size.
there's only 5K in the pot.
So
right?
I did check back and actually won this pot against Jack 7. So
there you go.
Kind of goes to my point, showing that like we still win this pot, not very often, but enough that I like to check back here now with the queen high.
Interesting. As played, if you want to see the sim, this is the sim. The dark red is overbet, so he was right. When bet 1 call and the ace of spade comes, look at all this overbetting. Look at all this fucking overbetting. Tons of overbetting. I think a spot people miss a lot. He did check, and the river was 5 diamond. And it went check, and then queen 7-0. Pure checking. And my bets come from the 8s or 9s. And then some of these missed gutters that have really no showdown. The 7-3, 7-2, 6-2, 6-3, 6-4. Bet our aces. Bet all our aces for value. There you go. There you go. Tina! Got it on the river! Congratulations, Tina. Let me know how you want me to send it to you. PayPal or ACR or whatever. Congratulations. Cool. I think, yeah, we got time for one more, I think. Keyword's gonna be no 66. No 66 in the chat. PayPal, please, Tina. I got you. Does overbetting overcome rake? This is tournament play, so we don't have to worry about that there, Bengals. We overbet because we want to charge all the draws and the 9x, the max. And their action, they have no top of range ace-x. Am I going to run in the streets later today? Probably not. I think I'm going to chill and watch the UFC. It's UFC is fucking super good today. Small line super capped. Exactly capped. That's why we overbet. All right, Tina, your money is in the cyber space. All right, while you guys are doing that, I'm going to pick another quiz. JL. 1636. All right. We got some peeps in there. Just about ready to draw, I think. The Meatball coming to close this out. And Meatball battling with the Angry Rook. Battle for the ages. Congratulations, guys. Let's play this bitch and find out what happens.
Here we are early in a $10,000 buy-in Poker Masters tournament. This is a small field event, usually with mostly good players. That said, if you show up on time, they charge no rake, which is fantastic. And there are usually a few relatively weak players in the $10,000 game. So these are definitely good games if you are a very skilled poker player, of course. The game's going to be tough. And this is a tough game. Folds around to Daniel Negreanu in the small blind, who limps.
He's pretty good.
Early in the tournament, we are playing 100 big blinds deep. We have the 10-4 offsuit. Should we check, raise to 2,000, raise to 4,000, or raise to 7,000?
More blind on blind play. Here we go. This is a tough spot. We were looking at this earlier in the PCQA. Blind on blind is tough. Well, again, away we get polar opposites. Check and bet 4. Four for friends. Mix 4 and check, says Pucks. 4K for the Rook. 4K, ton of ground to fuck off. I like it. Lucifer going 4K. What up, buddy? Dennis 4. What the rest of you doing? Check for all Amber Poker. What you doing out there? 4K for Hollywood. 3K for Econ Bob. Check and State of Sky says Machine Gun. A little bit of a tell on this one. We just played this spot. Similar spot. With Affleck and last hand. And what do? We raise our junk. We're super polar. 10-4, definitely in the junk category. 4K the way to go, in my opinion, 100% of the time. Meatball going for Rook, I believe. Going for, let's see what he says.
This is a spot where I think we can go either way between checking or raising to something like 4,000.
Good. 9 points means not a mistake.
If we pull up the GTO tournament charts, we have 80
I think it's because we're so
blind
deep.
charts
For
here
shorter,
from the big blind,
like in the mid stack range, 40 to
versus
60,
a
we raise more.
limp from the small blind. You're going to see that you generally raise all the best hands for value. Come on,
there
computer.
it is.
You raise all the best hands for value. And then you're raising a bunch of junky hands on the bottom. Let's see if I can make this fit into the window. There you go. So you see this 10-4 offsuit actually does raise a pretty large chunk of the time. 80 big blinds deep, which may be surprising to some people. But this is a spot where you normally just raise all the best hands straight up for value. Then you raise a lot of these junky blocker hands and some of the lowest suited hands, opting to check the hands that flop pretty well. Some people are also surprised to see like any ace does not raise over a limp, right?
See that,
Something that
Cyrus?
surprises people. Stuff like Queen 10 offsuit and King 10 offsuit and Queen Jack offsuit often just check. But this 10-4 offsuit is certainly a hand you should be raising some portion of the time. And as you think your opponent's going to be on the weaker, tighter side, perhaps you think they're going to raise a lot of hands from the small blind, and when they limp it means they don't have anything good. Well, against those players, you should almost certainly raise. So in the spot, I definitely think you can mix it up between checking or raising to 4,000. You do not want to raise to 2,000 because then you're going to get called literally every time, and obviously you don't want to get called when you have the 10 high. Raising to 7,000 is interesting. I think it is at least viable. You'll find that perhaps you should be using big raise sizes in the spot against limp some portion of the time, but I haven't really experimented with that too much. I'm mainly using a 4,000 raise size or check, but I think 7,000 could be sweet because it really does put a lot of your opponent's range in a tough spot. Let me show you real quick what small blind should be limping with. You'll see here that they should be limping a lot, right? But imagine they just start raising all these best hands every time. What that does to their limping range is it makes it far weaker. And imagine they have like King 7 offsuit or 7-4 suited or any of these hands really. King 8 suited even. If they limp and you make it 7 big blinds, I mean, they're probably just going to fold a lot, right? So that certainly is a reasonable consideration. We check though, fine. Flop comes Ace 3-2. Negreanu checks. Should we check? Bet 1,000, bet 2,000, or bet 7,000?
The 3K wasn't an option. Does it matter 3K or 4K? I would say in reality it probably doesn't matter too much. But the general standard is 3K if you're small blind raising into the big blind, and 4K if you're big blind raising the small blind limp is generally the standard. But if you go 3K instead, I don't think it's a huge deal. 1K for Mr. Cap and Mr. Marlin and Mr. Meatball. $1K for friends and poker and pucks. $2K for Lucifer, sizing up on this board. $2K for Rook, also sizing up on this board. And Cyrus. No quads. I'm shook. $7K. You're trolling, Poker Bro. 4X is better because we have very polar range, is true. If you go 3, though, again, probably not the end of the world, but it is better. 7K for value, Poker Bro. Value from worse? The fuck? Or are you just doing that with your value range, so you're doing it with this hand too? Yeah, I think we bet. One thing in my head is like, well, the cool thing about raising this hand is now when we raise and Daniel just calls, we still have all the best ace X in our range, and he has no ace king, no ace queen, no ace jack, no ace 10. We have all of that in our range. And I know we bet size up on gutters, and we're deeper. My gut is telling me 2K on this one. If it says 1K, I wouldn't be surprised, but my gut is telling me 2K on this one. It's 2K for Rook and 1K for Meatball. We got Meatball up on the screen, so we're going to find out. 1K for Meatball.
I think we have a pretty mandatory bet in this scenario, and I think we want to bet on the small side. I mean, I just showed you my range.
2K was
I have a lot of
8
ace
points, though,
in my
so super
range.
close.
I also have a lot of
Super close
straights,
there,
two pairs. Obviously, he does as well if he's doing
Definitely
a whole
not a
lot of
mistake.
limping as he should be. But, this is a spot where I think I definitely want to bet with my best hands and my draws. I think we also want to bet with a 3 or a 2. And I think we want to bet on the smaller side. I do think betting something like 2,000 could definitely be viable in this scenario because if that'll get him to fold out like all unpaired hands, that's quite nice. But I think a 1,000 bet in general is probably just fine with a lot of our range in the spot, especially once he limps pre-flop and then checks, because I do think you can remove a lot of the good aces from most people's range at this point. And that's going to make his range a little bit weaker. So we're going to bet the flop, realizing we are probably going to have to continue bluffing on a lot of turns. You obviously want to bet with your weakest, well, some of your draws, right? So what's a draw on ace 3-2? It's going to be a 4 or a 5. We bet 1,000. He calls. Turn is a 10, and he checks. Should we check? Bet 2,000, bet 5,000, or bet 8,000?
Hey, what up, Jerome? We bet. He calls. He checks. We spike a pair. Now what are we doing? Kep and Poker Pro and Bob checking right away. Not friends, though. Friends repping that shit and going big. 8K. Overbetting. Pot and a half. Check for Meatball. $2K for Cyrus. Check for Dennis. 2K for Rook. So 2K for Rook. And Meatball checking. 2K for poker. Not sizing up here. By doing so, we buy the river, says Machine Gun. Overbet for Poker Pro. 5K for Marlin. 5K for Nucifer. So here's the thing. Like I'm checking, by the way. We have showdown value now. And we bet here. All his pairs between 10 and ace fold. So we don't get value from those. He shouldn't be floating us too much with like queen jack and queen 10 and jack 10. He can float us with like king queen. Which isn't too scary. And we have showdown value now. I think with showdown value, we start to try and get to the river cheaply because we now have a marginal main hand. So I would be checking this for sure now. If we got an ace, we lose the least. And if he's got anything else, it's just fucking folding, and we have a good hand now. So I would check. Meatball checking, 2K for the Rook. Let's find out.
When we turn a very good amount of showdown value,
2K is 8, so he doesn't hate betting.
Should probably check. That said, this hand may still be good enough to put in a small value bet. So I don't hate betting 2,000 in this scenario. The problem with betting bigger is that if we start betting bigger and bigger, we're going to make hands like a 3 and a 2 just fold, right? Which is what we really want to get called by. So I think the right play here is to either check or bet small. I think you're probably going to find that a 10 with a bad kicker probably just wants to check it back. I definitely do not want to bet and have to fold this hand to a raise. That would be an absolute disaster. So typically when that's the case, you should be inclined to check your hand behind. And this 10 is not all that vulnerable to getting outdrawn, and we probably have the best hand if a little bit more money goes in the pot. Like if it goes check, and he bets the river, we can easily call. If we bet and get raised, though, it's a pretty nasty spot. So if we are going to bet here, I think a small bet is ideal. And if you're playing against a weak, tight, straightforward player who you can be quite confident just does not have an ace, because he would have either raised it pre-flop or bet the flop with it, or check raise the flop with it, then value betting becomes way more reasonable. But that's not Negreanu. Negreanu knows he's gonna have he knows how to play. He's gonna have some aces here, so we let it go check. He'll also bluff the river with stuff like 8-7 of hearts if he decided to float the small bet on the flop. By the way, that is a nice reason to make a small bet on the flop because your opponent is going to have to call really wide because they had to put in 1 to try to win 5, right? Check, check. River's a 5. That's good. He checks. Should we check, bet 2,000, bet 5,000, or bet 10,000?
Oh, I have this spot, but I don't have this board. Goes check, check. Straight comes in on the river. What do we do now? Overbet, says Bob. Twice pot. Pot for Cap. Pot for Cyrus. Pot for All In for Poker. Pot for Meatball. 2K for Friends and DMC. Poker Pro going big, 5K, lots of pot. Over pot for Rook. Over bet for Goomla. 2K to induce a raise. 5K pot for Pucks. Where Rook's going 10, Meatball going 5. Yeah, so we definitely bet the shit out of this. He's got lots of 2-pair and stuff like that when he floats the flop. And the board runs out this way. We get max value. I think twice pot, it might be a thing here. It really might. I would go somewhere between pot and like 7K myself here. 2K, never small. I want to get max value from his ace-x, from his 2-pairs. And Nagano's going to know that we're raising here polar, right? So we have a lot of 4 in our range. He does not have a lot of 4. He also doesn't have any 2-3, 2-5, or 3-5. When we go bet check, like, how does he fold 8s, 9s, 7s, 6s? I think I'm going 5. I think I am going 5. I mean, it might be 10, though. I would probably go between 5 and 7. All right, let's see. Rook going 10, Meatball going 5. Let's find out.
Well, definitely don't check. We have essentially the nuts. Obviously,
even
we are going to lose to the 6-4 every once in a while.
Good.
That would be pretty miserable. But this is a spot where we want to bet. Here, your strategy is going to depend heavily on how you expect your opponent to respond. I think in general, though, you want to be betting on the bigger side. You don't want to bet 2,000 because whenever you are against an ace or a random 2-pair like 5-3, you just lose. You leave a lot of money on the table because those hands are going to call any bet. So I think we want to bet on the big side, either 5,000 or like 10,000. If you think your opponent will fold out stuff like 2 pairs to 10,000, then I think 5,000 becomes way better. If you think your opponent's going to fold out an ace to 10,000, then 5,000 is going to become way better. You got to realize we're not trying to get called by something like Queen 3, right? Queen 3 is just always going to fold to any bet. So we don't care about that. We're really just trying to get called by an ace or better. And again, you may say, well, my opponent has literally no aces. And, maybe they don't. But your opponents will show up with random 2 pairs here some portion of the time, and when they do, they're going to call any bet. And if they do have an ace, I think a lot of people also find a call, especially if they think you are loose, aggressive, and battly. And, Negreanu's seen me run some bluffs. He thinks I'm in there being loose, aggressive, and battly. And this is a spot where when he checks the river, he probably doesn't have a whole lot of 4s at all because he probably bet the flop with a lot of 4s. And if he called the flop with 4s, he would check the turn, but he probably often bet the river. I do think good players will check here with a 4, especially with 6-4. So it would sure be bad if I go for the big bet and get raised. But, it's a spot where I think,
True.
we should
does
go
have
for a
4-6
very big
in his
bet.
range.
We have a lot of
That's
4s in our
his
range,
D-range.
especially.
He loves those suited gappers.
Well, we have some number of 4s in our range, although that said,
He loves those gappers.
if you go back to my flop analysis, I said I'd probably be betting on a lot of turns. And when I don't, it actually removes a lot of the 4s from my range, right? So this is a spot where I probably don't have quite as many 4s from his point of view, which is good, which will make him a little bit more call happy here. He called pretty quickly. I don't know what he had. Probably an ace. And we won a nice pot.
Nice. Very nice. This was a close-ass battle between Meatball and Rook. 9, 8, 8, 10 for Rook for a total of 19 plus, 16? So 29, 30, 19 plus 16. 29, 35. And 9, 10, 10, 9 for 38 for Meatball. Meatball, congratulations, man. Let me know how you won your prize. And also, Rook, you didn't make any mistakes. With 9, 8, 8, 10, like, you got high enough scores where you're definitely making money in this pot. Well done, guys. Well done. Very well done. Thanks for the good luck there, Cap. I think this is where we're going to wrap it. I appreciate the guys. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the subs. Thank you for the gift subs. Thank you for hanging out with me today. I appreciate you as always. Send out that good juju for sixes because he's out there playing in the live streets, and I got a piece of his action. So, yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Make sure you give him some love. I'm going to throw the host over to somebody. I don't know who that somebody is yet. Don't forget, Monday, 4 Eastern, we have Brad Wilson in the Poker Coaching Discord for free. You can ask him anything, get him, talk to him exactly, head to head by yourself. So that's Monday. Wednesday is my home game. Friday is the global home game. Do I got a time for today, Marlon? I'm not sure what time it starts. I'll text you in a minute. So yeah, man. All good things. Don't forget, !PC in the chat if you want to sign up for poker coaching for free. Get free quizzes like the ones we were doing. Get homework assignments. Get Thursday Discord. Thank you. The QA also, which is funny because we actually covered some of those spots in these quizzes today. So you had a 1-up if you were in the QA this week. PC.com, use the link, sign up for free, get quizzes, get homework assignments, get big blind charts, sign up for premium, get all this shit. It's great, great content. One thing I love about pokercoaching.com is that Jonathan is, and they do pay me to say this, but I feel like this anyways, and I would say it otherwise, is that I love how he's taken this with all his great coaches and makes it feel a lot like one-on-one coaching, like these quizzes and things, and the webinars where you get to be one-on-one and the AMAs, and you get that one-on-one feel for them, and it still scales to the masses, which is great. Absolutely great. !PC Discord. Not the link that's there. That's my Discord. Here's the Poker Coaching Discord. If you want to get in there for free, there's a ton of giveaways. Every week we do giveaways. We do QAs. We do AMAs. There's tons of free, amazing content in there. Make sure you check all that stuff out. It's good stuff. It's good quality content. And it is 100% fucking free. I mean, 100% free. You're fucking up. You're missing out on all that great content. All right. We're going to throw the host over to Mr. Rodney. Quick question now. Wish him luck. I appreciate you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.